The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy did something most superhero franchises still struggle to do. It made saving the world feel easier than paying rent, keeping a job, maintaining a relationship, or simply surviving as Peter Parker. These movies had giant villains, massive action scenes, and some of the most iconic moments in superhero history, but that isn't the real reason people still love them more than 20 years later. It's because Sam Raimi understood one crucial thing. Spider-Man's greatest enemy was never the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, or Venom. It was the responsibility that slowly took everything away from Peter Parker. The first Spider-Man is still one of the greatest superhero origin stories ever made. Before Peter becomes Spider-Man, the movie actually gives us time to understand who he is. He's awkward, overlooked, and completely in love with Mary Jane, even though he can barely hold a normal conversation with her. Then Peter gets bitten by the spider, and for a brief moment, everything in his life starts going his way. He becomes stronger, he becomes faster, he finally feels confident, but instead of immediately becoming a hero, Peter makes a selfish decision. He lets a criminal escape because he believes it isn't his problem, and that one decision leads to Uncle Ben's death. That moment defines this entire trilogy. Peter doesn't become Spider-Man because having powers makes him special. He becomes Spider-Man because he understands what can happen when he refuses to use them responsibly. Tobey Maguire plays Peter differently from every other live-action Spider-Man. He isn't constantly throwing out jokes or trying to appear cool. He's quiet, emotional, and sometimes painfully uncomfortable, but that vulnerability makes him believable. Willem Dafoe is also incredible as Norman Osborn in The Green Goblin. The costume might look ridiculous to some people, but Dafoe's performance is anything but ridiculous. He can switch between Norman and the Goblin without even wearing the mask, and the final fight between him and Peter is still one of the most brutal battles in any Spider-Man movie. The first movie gave Spider-Man his origin, but Spider-Man 2 showed us what being Spider-Man actually means. Peter is exhausted. He's losing his job. He's falling behind in school. Mary Jane is moving on without him. Aunt May is struggling financially, and no matter how many people Peter saves, his own life keeps getting worse. That's what makes this movie so powerful. Peter isn't questioning whether he has the ability to be Spider-Man. He's questioning whether he has the strength to keep sacrificing everything for people who may never appreciate him. When Peter temporarily loses his powers, it isn't because of some machine or magical villain. It happens because, deep down, he doesn't want this responsibility anymore. He wants to be normal. He wants to see Mary Jane's play. He wants to finish his classes. He wants to walk down the street without hearing police sirens and feeling responsible for everyone in danger. For a little while, Peter finally gets the life he wanted, but when he sees someone in trouble, he still runs into the burning building. No powers, no mask, no guarantee that he'll survive. That scene proves Peter Parker was already a hero before the spider ever bit him. And then we get Dr. Octopus. Alfred Molina gives Otto Octavius so much personality, tragedy, and humanity. He isn't evil just for the sake of being evil. He's a brilliant man who loses everything in a single horrifying moment and becomes controlled by the very technology he created. The train sequence is still one of the greatest superhero scenes ever filmed. Peter pushes himself beyond his limits to save everyone aboard, and when his mask comes off, the passengers finally see that Spider-Man isn't some unstoppable god. He's just a tired young man giving everything he has to protect them. That is Spider-Man. Then we arrive at Spider-Man 3, and yes, this movie is a mess. There are too many villains. Some storylines feel rushed. Venom deserved more time, and the movie occasionally shifts between serious drama and complete insanity without warning. But I will defend this movie forever, because beneath all the dancing, the exaggerated confidence, and the memes, there's still a meaningful story about pride, anger, and forgiveness. Peter begins the movie believing he finally has everything figured out. New York loves Spider-Man. Mary Jane is with him. His confidence has never been higher. But Peter becomes so focused on his own success that he stops noticing the people around him. He dismisses Mary Jane's struggles. He becomes obsessed with revenge against Sandman. And when the symbiote appears, it doesn't create Peter's anger. It amplifies what was already inside him. And Tobey's infamous dance scenes are supposed to be embarrassing. Peter thinks he looks amazing, but everyone around him clearly thinks he's completely lost his mind. The movie may not handle every storyline perfectly, but the ending brings the entire trilogy's message together. Peter forgives Sandman, Harry forgives Peter, and Peter finally understands that no matter what happens to us, we always have a choice about what kind of person we become. That's why this trilogy still connects with people. These movies weren't afraid to let Peter fail. He makes selfish choices, he hurts people, people, he loses relationships, sometimes he saves a city, and still goes home completely alone. But he keeps getting back up. The effects have aged in places. Some moments are unbelievably cheesy, and not every creative decision works. But these movies have something many modern superhero films are missing: heart. They genuinely believe in their characters, their emotions, and their message. Danny Elfman's music is unforgettable. The action still feels physical and dangerous, and Tobey Maguire created a version of Peter Parker that millions of people still see as their Spider-Man. For me, Spider-Man 2 is the strongest film in the trilogy. The first movie is an almost perfect origin story, and Spider-Man 3 is flawed, but far more emotional and entertaining than people give it credit for. As a complete trilogy, I'm giving Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies a 9.5 out of 10. These films made us believe Spider-Man could be spectacular, while reminding us that Peter Parker was always the real hero. Subscribe to Tyler Talks Movies for more honest, spoiler-free movie reviews. Where do you rank the Tobey trilogy, and which movie do you think is the best?